Before we get into today's video, I just want to take 1 second and ask you all to do a huge favor for me. I want to set a like goal on this video of 100 likes. Can we hit 100 likes for episode 1 of Myth Busting Mondays? I know we can do it. At least 100 if you were going to watch it. Take 1 second and click that thumbs up button for me and show me that you support these videos and everything we do on the channel. So 100 likes, challenge is on. Let's see if you can hit it. Now, let's get into today's video. Ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? My name is DJ djanonzt and we're back with WWE Champions. And this is episode 1 of an all-new series that I'm starting here on the channel called Myth Busting Mondays. And it's going to be myself partnering up with my good friend, Mr. 2Bob29. And we are going to take on the task of busting some of the myths in the game. So, whether it be something nobody knows, or maybe some people know it and other people don't, there could be some tips and tricks that you learn along the way from watching this series, and we're going to have a lot of fun here. So if you have a myth that you'd like to see busted, leave it down in the comments section below, or go ahead and join my Discord server. There will be a link to that in the description below, and I will end up putting up a section for that in there, or shoot me a DM with your myth. And we will try to do our very best to bust every myth that we possibly can. I would like to put out an episode of this series at least twice a month, I'm hoping. And if we can really get things rolling, I'd like to do one every single Monday. But I don't know if we're going to be able to keep up with that pace, depending on what's going on in my life and in the game. So we're going to do the very best that we can. And we've got an awesome episode brought to you today. Now, the first myth that we are going to do today, we're going to go on over and check out my man 2Bob29, and we are going to bust this one. Myth: can Big E actually move the pin meter further than the pin meter goes on the screen? Or is it just a visual glitch? So can we go further than the pin meter even shows? Can we bury that pin meter even further than that? Or does it actually get stuck on the last space? Let's check in with 2Bob29 and see how we do on this myth.
And the destroy, so I can't even show it at this point. So the key here, let's just do it like this, right? In theory, I should be 24 out, but I'm actually 22 out. So let's see if we can't get some lucky cascades of our own. So now that was 9. So the reality of the matter here is, oh, this is actually perfect. Now that I can explain it. So we were four notches away from being pinned because he hit us with a row break. We then moved our pin bar back 6 more. So in reality, you'd be thinking that we're 2 behind the pin bar now. But what actually happens is that the pin bar stops at your end. And it stops, instead of 2 past the pin bar, which is 24, it stops at 22. And what I mean by 22 is the pin bar is 22 notches long. So what we just did is we just destroyed 9 gems. So in reality, if we were 24 out, 24 minus 9 gems will be 15 gems. However, since we're 22 out, 22 minus 9 is 13 gems. As you can see, Taker's in danger. So all the gems that you match right now are going to be counting as 2 gems. So the way to display the difference between this is actually with a row break, which we have a blue column break here. So column or row break works. Because 7 gems times 2 is 14. So if he gets pinned from this column break, it proves that the pin bar stops at 22. Even though you're trying to pull it back past that, the pin bar will stop at 22. However, if he doesn't get pinned, then it goes to show that the pin bar actually does get extended past 22. So let's see what happens. And he gets pinned. So it goes to show that your pin bar is stuck at 22, even if you try to rewind it back further. No matter how hard you might try, that pin bar is going to always stay at 22 notches. It will not visibly show you where you're at on the pin bar, but it will always stay at 22 notches.
Okay, that was absolutely awesome, and we have busted the myth. The pin bar actually does not extend past, no matter how hard you try, the pin bar will not extend. It will always be 22 notches. So even though you can't see where the pin bar is at, it's actually always going to be 22 notches. Thank you too, Bob, for explaining that to us. Now, the second myth of today's episode is coming in, and it says, myth: when you put a flat move damage medal on somebody, does it actually affect the submission moves or not? Because I heard that it had. Well, I'm going to go ahead and go into a match, and I am going to try this out for myself. I'm going to put a flat 50k move damage medal on my Sasha Banks, and we're going to see when she hits her submission if we actually do 50k extra damage than we are supposed to. So let's check that out. All right, y'all, we are out here with Sasha Banks now. I do have the gear on her, so we are going to start the match with 5 extra yellow move points. And I'm going to go ahead and put Kofi on her, so we're going to start pretty loaded here with the Camel Clutch. Now, you'll see this is submission, generate 12 random sub-gems and do 2387 damage for 4 turns. My Sasha's not super leveled here, but we're going to take a look at the titles here. I went ahead and went out and I built up this Make It Rain move medal here for 50,000 yellow move damage. Flat yellow move damage, 50,000. So we're going to go ahead and equip that on Sasha there. And we're going to go ahead and go out here on the road against Nia Jax in the Women's Evolution Tour. And we are going to put it to the test. Will the 50,000 damage actually add to our submission damage? So as you see, Nia Jax has 98,000 health to start the match. And I start with my moves loaded. So we're going to do the Camel Clutch here, and we are going to see, will it in fact do 50,000 damage? And yes, as you can see right there off the start, 50,000 damage before the submission turns actually started. Now, it didn't do 50,000 per turn. It did a flat 50,000 damage before we started to actually do the submission. So yes, if you put a flat move damage medal on your superstar, it will in fact add that to the damage taken from the submission. Not every turn, just once at the beginning, but there we go. Myth busted. The move damage medal will in fact do damage on the submission. Now, I don't know if that's intended, and it may not always be that way, but for right now, that's how it's working. So take advantage of that if you need to win some matches with a superstar that you got a little under leveled, like my Sasha Banks. I've been able to go out and do tours way above her talent by using these move damage medals on her. So I hope you found that one helpful. Okay, that was absolutely awesome. So the move damage medals will, in fact, affect your submissions at this time in the game. Now, we're going to get to the main event of episode 1 of Myth Busting Mondays, and this myth is coming in, and it says, myth! What happens if you turn the entire board into immobile gems and pass the turn to your opponent? They won't be able to make a move because every single gem will be immobile. So if they try to board shuffle, it still wouldn't matter because every single gem would be immobile. So what happens if the whole board is full of immobile gems? Well, let's get out here with our buddy 2 Bob and check out what happens.
Say goodbye to all them color turns. Now we can tag in the real king. So we've got ourselves 7 rows, 7 columns, 7 sets of 7 full of immobile gems. It's a board full of 49 immobiles. And we're going to hit this move that does damage per each, and it will not move the board at all. And you'll see what happens with a full board of Immobile Gems. It goes poof.
Okay, let's go ahead and take a little rewind on that and see it one more time here. I know it's kind of hard to hear too, Bob. We're going to get him to speak a little louder on the next edition of this. But as you can see, what happened was Sean made 5 rows of Immobile Gems. And at this point, Dude Love comes into the match. He gets to choose 2 rows to make into Immobile Gems.
7 rows.
I'm going to need you to speak it up next time too, Bob.
Full of Immobile Gems. It's a board.
And now he's got 7, and that finisher, as you can see, doing bonus damage for every Immobile Gem.
Per each, and it will not move the board.
And it does not move it, so since he wasn't endangered, it didn't end the match. And no! It actually drops you in an entire new board of gems since nothing can be moved. So I've been wondering that one for a long time, actually. I thought, is the game gonna break? Is it gonna glitch out? Like, what's gonna happen? So we finally got the answer to that one. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed episode 1 of Myth Busting Mondays with DJ A9ZT and 2Bob29. If you would like to support myself, why don't you go ahead and click subscribe on the channel? It helps me out tremendously. It only takes you a second. And while you're down there hitting subscribe, why don't you click that thumbs up button for me too? Those things are free to you, and they help me out a lot. It only takes a couple of seconds. Why wouldn't you do that for me? And if you want to support my man, 2Bob29, I'm going to leave you a link or two down in the description below for him, so you can follow him as well. And like I said, if you would like to see a myth busted in our next episode, leave a comment down below with your myth, and we will try to get to it as soon as we can. And if you want to join the Discord server and chat about it with us, go ahead in the description below. There is an invite to my Discord server. So, hope to see you all in there, and we'll see you next time on Myth Busting Mondays. Peace, y'all.